All right, everybody, it's knife time, and this evening we're going to be taking a look at a early model 1933 crafted by F. Dick in Solingen, Germany, SA dagger. This is the real deal. This isn't a remake. This isn't a Bud K special. I got this from a reputable dealer, antiques dealer. As you can see, it's seen use and has wear and tear. All for Deutschland there on the blade. Has the Forbidden Eagle. Gotta cover that up. And it has the cool little SA thing. That's the Workers' Party. They weren't necessarily the boogeyman of World War II. I mean, you know, as compared to the fellows in the sharp black suits. These are a very interesting knife design, and they're made for a job. You know what I'm saying? These guys weren't out, you know, whittling and shit with these. They were probably putting in some work with them. A very good grip. They're kind of small. I have a feeling that, well, almost 100 years ago, people probably had smaller hands or something, because, I mean, my hand fits it, but I'm a large size glove, and it's kind of tight in there. If I was gonna make this for myself, I would make it about 3/8 of an inch bigger, because that right there cuts into my hand. Yeah, this, yeah, see, there it is. It's got the little arrow on the blade with F. Dick. That's the maker's mark. This is an early model. How you can tell that is the sheath was period repainted. And the reason why the sheaths were period repainted was once the SS guys came around, they didn't want anybody else having their, you know, black and chrome swagger. So the SA guys were ordered to paint their sheaths brown to match their attire. And so that's that. This thing is in overall really good shape, and I have it for history purposes. I don't exactly share the same beliefs as Kanye or anybody that would have this for any nefarious reasons. I have a bunch of American GI stuff, British stuff. I'm just a history buff, a war history buff for sure. And I find this as a really good design. I've used this knife handle shape in a few of my own makings. Like I said, longer. That locks you in. Nobody's ripping this out of your hand, for sure. It's a good setup. It's a beautiful thing in its own right for what it's for, and that's for looking at this point. It's still, I wouldn't say scary sharp, but it's sharp. You can go through some paper with it pretty good and stuff. Yeah, but it's about 1 foot long overall, maybe a little bit more, most of that being blade. You know, these were meant to look cool and to serve a fighting purpose in those days. And that's what it was for. People didn't really have knives, you know, to open Amazon packages and such like that. There wasn't really much of that going on. But I enjoy just searching out the history and stuff on this. There's lots of different makers of these in lots of different places, and I was searching for one made in Danzig, Germany, because I'm a Danzig music fan, but I couldn't find one at the time. I've seen them go for since. If you want something like this, you can get them for $1,000, $1,200 if you search long and hard enough. I've seen them for less than that. I would never buy, if you're trying to find something for your collection that's legitimate, I wouldn't ever buy anything that wasn't from a reputable dealer, because when it comes to a lot of the German World War II stuff, a lot of people fake that stuff. Like when it comes to flags or patches or other types of memorabilia, they'll buy reproduction stuff and like stain it with tea or coffee and try and leave it out in the yard for a while and make it look aged. You can tell once you get your hands on the edged weapons and such if it's real, you know. I mean, you can tell. You're like the Bud case stuff and the remakes of this stuff, you can tell they're not made like this. Yeah, this one isn't a perfect example, but it's a well-preserved piece of history, and that's what it is. It's history. And if you forget your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Everybody tearing down all our history here in America might want to think about that one of these days. Not to get political or anything, but you know, it's good to have reminders of bad things so you don't necessarily repeat them. And yeah, so that's that. The SA dagger in my collection, or as we call it, the Frank Spanker. That's a little joke, haha. Get over it, deal with it, I don't care. Yeah, because America and freedom of speech and all that stuff. So that's knife time for this evening, and I hope you enjoyed looking at this cool piece of history, as it is a cool piece of history. And maybe if you're out there searching for something like this in your collection, you can look at this footage and say, hey, now I can tell if this is more legit or not. They do have markings on the hilt and everything like that. Yeah. So there you go. Right on. Have a great evening.